things to consider if you are thinking about taking up a market garden. I'm going to do a series of these, so I'm not going to do too many at once because there's quite a few things to consider. The first one I want to talk about, though, is deciding what you're going to do. Because at the start of my journey 2 years ago, coming into my third year now, I definitely got overexcited. And I've seen this on several other YouTube channels, where people want to grow as many things as they possibly can. So it's this old saying, mile wide but inch thick. So it's not particularly useful in a market garden setting. You need to be the man or the woman. Say, for example, you're going to a farmer's market. You're the cucumber man. You've got the cucumbers. Everyone knows you've got cucumbers. You've got cucumbers every week. You've got trays of cucumbers. You've got baskets of cucumbers. You've got cucumbers coming out your ears. You can never sell all the cucumbers you've got. And then, and only then, are you actually doing something right. If you've got half a dozen cucumbers one week and a dozen the next and then 3 the next, people stop coming. Because the first 2-3 people come through the door, they buy all your cucumbers. And then the people who come in for the next 3.5 hours of that farmer's market go, oh, we got any cucumbers? Oh, no, I've got any cucumbers this week, sorry. So you've got to think in terms of scale. Now, if you've only got an acre of land, like me, I've got less than an acre under cultivation, then you've really got to think, what are you going to spend your time, your effort, your money on producing so that you can go to a market week in, week out with quantities that are worth selling. I'm going to add a secondary factor to that. And it's an unfortunate secondary factor, but it's a real factor, and you need to consider it. We're in a cost of living crisis. It seems to be New Zealand, Australia, UK, the USA, and probably a dozen other countries around the Western world are doing the same thing. Cost of living, prices are going through the roof, inflation's up, housing's up, fuel's up, food's up. Everything's going through the roof except your wages. Your wages aren't going up. So when people come to me and they can buy my head of broccoli for $3 and it's spray free and it's organic and it was harvested that night, or the night before I should say, or they can go to the supermarket and they can buy 3 less impressive looking heads of broccoli, but still broccoli, and it's been sprayed and it was picked 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days ago, put in a chiller, and it's been sat in the chiller and then transported and then sat in another chiller, then put on the shelf, and then it's been poked and prodded by everyone who's gone through the supermarket. And by God, if you're like me and you work security, you know what those animals look like, some of them. Some of them don't wash their hands, ever. But you look at it and you go, I can get 3 heads of broccoli for $3. They're $1 each. Yours is $3. Why would I buy yours? And there is a percentage of people who would love to do the right thing, who would love to buy organic and spray-free and regenerative agriculture and help the little guy. At the end of the day, they've got kids to feed. And one $3 broccoli for one meal, or 3 $1 broccolis does them 3 meals, which one are they going to go for? Now, there's always a percentage of people who are going to have money. It's been true since Eve started bleeding. Okay? There were people who, doesn't matter how shit the economy gets, they've got money. They can buy new cars, and they can do that sort of stuff. We're not interested so much in chasing down people who've got marginal income. It's nice when they've got the money to spend and they spend it on us, and we love that. So you've got to think about what's a crop that's worth growing, that you can get your money for, that is going to sell, that you've got a market for. And you have to start looking at what isn't in the supermarket, what isn't at your local greengrocer. and then factor in all these things. It's more complicated than you think. It's not as simple as planting, as I have this year, 300 sugar snap peas. Fantastic. But the weather's been so cold. This is possibly the warmest we've been all day. It's gone about 12 degrees. The weather's been so cold, they have grown so slowly that we are not getting virtually any peas off them. Now, I can get about $50 a kilo for those peas. And I should be, this time now, some of those pea plants have been in 3-4 months, I should be getting, in succession planting, 3 or 4 kilos of peas a week. That makes quite a big difference to my bottom line. I'm not getting it because they're growing so bloody slowly. But I've identified that as a crop that sells well at my market, and people are prepared to pay $5 100 grams. And there are people who will come along, as there are with any product, and look at it and go, oh my God, you want how much for that? Let that go by. Float it by. Same with my flowers. How much are your flowers? $20 a bunch. Oh my God, it's like, it was $20 a bunch? It's $20 a bunch. If you don't want them, off you go. There is someone else who wants them. Now, if I didn't sell any of them, then we'd start looking at that, wouldn't we? But is it the problem with the flowers? Is it the problem with the display? Is it a problem with the price? We can alter those things as we go along. So, my advice to you, if you are thinking of getting into market gardening in any way whatsoever, especially on a small scale farm like mine, find your niche. And it's more important to be the person who brings pumpkins or zucchini or whatever it is consistently all season, and if you can extend that season by a polytunnel or whatever, more power to you. That's where you make your money, on the either end of the season. But you are known as the man or the woman that brings those vegetables, and people come for those vegetables. And then you can put your other things on the side, and people might go, oh gosh, I've never seen one of those. Well, we don't have many of them, but here's some. And you can try it. But trying to make it out of something that's a niche market that people don't really eat, like artichokes, for example, in this country, it's not a major thing that people eat. There are loads of people who go, oh my God, artichokes, I love them. And I love growing them, and I love them, so I eat them all the time. At the end of the day, most people look at an artichoke and go, I've never had one. How much is it? $2 a head, $3 a head, whatever, depending on the size of them. I'm not going to waste that money on something I've never had. I don't know what to do with, and it just seems like too much like hard work. Anyway, that's the first of these videos. I'll post it up, and leave any comments you like. Subscribe if you want to. I'm Mike from Pushing Up the Daisies, which I will be, I'm sure, in a couple of decades. Have yourself a great day. Toodaloo.